Friends, buckle up because we're diving headfirst into the MTA's money pit. That's right, the MTA, that magical organization that somehow manages to make your commute feel longer and more expensive every year, is back in the news. And this time, it's not about a rat wearing a tiny conductor's hat. The MTA recently proposed a whopping $65 billion capital plan. This plan was supposed to fix our crumbling subway system, you know, the one that floods every time someone sneezes too hard. But guess what? It got rejected. Now, I know what you're thinking. John, you beautiful, politically aware angel, why would anyone reject a plan to fix our beloved, albeit slightly pungent, subway system? Well, dear viewers, it's complicated. Some folks think the MTA is about as good at managing money as a raccoon is at open-heart surgery. And honestly, they might have a point. So, what's the plan now that the MTA's piggy bank is emptier than a politician's promise? Well, they're turning to an idea that's as controversial as a pineapple on pizza congestion pricing. Basically, they want to charge drivers a fee for entering Manhattan below 60th Street. The idea is that this will reduce traffic and raise money for the MTA. Two birds, one stone, right? Well, maybe. Some people are worried that this will just punish people who can't afford to live in Manhattan, essentially forcing them to pay a poor tax to drive to work. Others argue that something has to be done to address the traffic nightmare that is New York City. They say congestion pricing is the only way to get people out of their cars and onto public transportation. But here's the problem. For congestion pricing to work, the public transportation actually has to, work. Now let's talk about the part that really grinds my gears. Fare increases. Yep, you guessed it, the MTA wants to raise fares. Again. Because apparently the best way to encourage people to use public transportation is to make it more expensive than a week-long stay at a luxury cat hotel. Look, I get it. The MTA needs money. But squeezing every last penny out of hard-working New Yorkers, many of whom are already struggling to make ends meet, is not the answer. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. It's just going to make things worse. Imagine being a single mother working 2 jobs just to put food on the table. Now imagine that on top of everything else, her commute just got even more expensive. That's the reality for many New Yorkers, and it's simply unacceptable. So, what's the solution? Well, for starters, the MTA needs to get its financial house in order. They need to stop wasting money on overpriced contracts and start being more transparent about how they spend our hard-earned dollars. But it's not just about the MTA. Our elected officials need to step up and make public transportation a priority. They need to invest in our subways and buses and ensure that the MTA is held accountable for its actions. This isn't just about transportation, it's about the future of New York City. It's about ensuring that everyone has access to affordable and reliable transportation, regardless of their income or zip code. It's about time we demand better from the MTA and our elected officials. It's time for them to stop treating public transportation like a luxury and start treating it like the essential service it is.